1985, an ICS crew traveled to Jimmy Maring's camp in the Delta. Then, and still today, Jimmy spends the majority of his time out at his camp. At that time, Jimmy was managing and supervising a young offenders camp. Bringing young people in trouble out on the land to serve their time was an alternative measure to sending them to correctional facilities. Welcome to TAMAPTA. I'm Debbie Gordon-Rubin.
Jimmy Maring first started taking the young offenders out to his camp in September of 1984. He says he enjoys doing it because he's always lived in the bush, and he says it's no more different than taking your own kids out.
Well, I like to stay in the bush for one thing, and it's another way to get an income. I mean, so you don't have to go to work during the summer. It gives you a chance to do some things around here, and I just thought I'll try it and see how it works out. Yeah, well, it's no different than taking your own kids any place, except, you know, there's a lot of work to it because, and the cook right down to, you know, I have to, well, there's no end of responsibility, yeah? Because no matter if you sent them, if they come out with my boy, I'm still responsible.
Through camps like this, young people under 17 in trouble with the law are given a chance to change their life. It's what's called an alternative measure under the Young Offenders Act. Sometimes it's better for people from the community to deal with the young offenders than send them to the courts. This gives the community more control over the offender. The young offender is sent out to a bush camp with a hunter or a trapper like Jimmy Maring to learn how to live off the land. Jimmy says he didn't expect to get into this at all.
Well, I heard about one time that they were looking for other ideas about camps for boys. I think it was last summer, right? Sometime in August or something. Might have been in July, so I happened to be in Newvik, so I just got, well, some people told me I should try it, you know, been telling me that 2 or 3 years in a row, and I never bothered. Anyway, I thought I'd look into it. So the fellow told me that he was interested, and then last fall we were coming out, so I just dropped in to Dinah, social worker, to see if there was anything done about it, or if there's any plans to go ahead. And she told me they had a little boy right there, and then they wanted me to bring out in the bush. And that was the one from McPherson. And we were coming like the next day, so I just brought him out, and that's how I started. I mean, I didn't expect to at that time.
Jimmy says the boys miss home a lot, but he thinks it's a very good program because the boys have to work to behave.
Yeah, I think it's probably one of the best government plans so far, because the boys, you know, they really miss home, and so they work to behave. Huh? They want to go home, so they know if they get, well, I shouldn't say they know, but they're afraid if they get bad points, they might not go home when they're supposed to. So I think it's better than jail or whatnot, because there they know they're just confined, and then they're going to get out anyway at a certain time. And they got a lot of backing to keep their morale up. But this way they miss home. Every boy I had really miss home. They want to go home. So I think it's probably a good plan.
The young offenders do a lot of work around the camp. They learn to do all sorts of things such as fishing, trapping, and they also have certain chores to do.
Trapping and your regular work like hauling wood and whatnot, staking push-ups in the spring for trapping. So far, like these two last boys was here in time to do some ratting with canoe and boat. And then we had an old lady here and another family this spring. They were making dry fish and they were in on that for a while. And it's cutting wood and hauling wood by boat in the summertime. Looking at nets, feeding the dogs, like they moved the dogs across so they could be at the water all the time a few days ago. They like that, they like, you know, that's what I mean. If you've got good outfit, you're not breaking down and stuff, then you can do things with them. But then when you get broke down or something, everything goes to a standstill. I mean, you know, you can't even look at your nets if they're far off unless you got a kicker take you all day to paddle it. So then you're trying to fix it. So if you've got a good outfit, then everybody is active all the time. Same in the winter time. Like, you've got dogs, they never break down, so, you know, you can always go to your traps and whatnot like that, and then once in a while they'll take a skidoo and it's a change for them. But then sometimes themselves they'll say, fed up with the skidoo, they want to go back to dogs. If the dogs are lively, yeah.
The longest time a young offender has stayed with Jimmy was for 7 months.
I wouldn't say I got any favorites. I never had most of them that long anyway, to get to know them that well. You're just starting to know them when they go. Except the second one I had was 7 months, I think. So I got to know him pretty good. The first one was 3 weeks, I think, so we were just starting to get to know him.
One of the things Jimmy Mehring teaches the young offenders is how to live off the land. In summer, this means knowing how to catch a fish in the river with nothing more than a piece of string and a hook. While we were taking these shots of fishing, the boys knew that a hot supper was waiting for them at the camp. But if they ever became lost and had to find food for themselves, knowing where it is and how to get it would be very important. Besides fishing with a line, the boys learn how to set nets in the river and how to handle a boat. Jimmy knows these young boys won't be around for very long, so he tries not to become too attached to them.
They leave their little imprints behind them, but the thing is, I try to make it so I don't get too attached. They kind of stay reserved, and that way I think they listen better too. One of them says hello once in a while, but the other guy, McPherson, like I say, we only knew another for 2 to 3 weeks. I heard he was doing good anyway.
At his camp, Jimmy teaches the boys how to look after firearms and weapons. They are taught how to clean and handle guns, but they are not given ammunition when they are on their own. Building a stage cache is another skill they learn.
Putting it up.
Okay.
Jimmy Mehring will probably continue taking the young offenders with him to his camp until next year anyway.
Well, I was thinking I might try it, give it another year anyway, because seeing as I bid, you know, it's better not to just quit like that, eh? So, and anyway, for my own self, I wouldn't be giving myself a good chance either. You know, I mean, I don't like to start something and then just quit. I like to find out what it's made of, so I'll probably stick with it.
One, Kivalum Naktan, Tarto, Akarut, Nilagan, Kivalurin, and no Akrake Hotiglu, Krake Hotiglu, Pihugalan, Akot, Aglan, Uglupak, Tunala Halibit, Ukok, Nukat Perarak, Kivalum Nakak Paluktok, in Mictigun, Mananjang near Hatik, Kovanak Tokamataruk Doctor, Kivalum Nakton, Kuvataruk Lakium, it Pakra.
Aulak dong akhlawing min labin klamang ovlak nipting nun chelos charmi 40 kilometers akhlawing min aulak duni atawek ikaane mik ilaw kapta tikichurugut irinyaga tinta ko yakta lugo ilan nangalo Robert Furlong Donna Allen lo irinyagalo John Boy He will fire near after 300 mic.
You know them. The rat meat, rat tape, they make it dry. If they skin it first and then they dry and smoke it. Who's that? So where are you guys going tonight?
Kinyap the inipting nun tanam it kuchon it ang itin lo Robert. Tap kwak nukat back. Unok the dilatun, ang unaran court ahin, kiwalong na court, 59 yik. Anugun awlat kit hiro Robert Ludin lo, kok lakbang. Malong ni ulo ni tawra ni hiruk ahin ilokating ay hirut akhlawing mon una erenya katin iling minik angone kakirok ang yakagila ko ni ahin ilan na nga Robert ikayakahiga Tin lo Robert lo inaktak kiwala kalak tuwak mani kiwala pagnik agalan akichok tunidyon ni stonon anguner kok nagkuribay dugo anguner kuruk mani umame inibay dulo itkililyo anguner kurut tay nakinyo nerurut inunitingit inuit mani umame Ngunek telekot mikikamik ahin go ang ngunek tune alena ichok Ikinya malik talik nga papa ni talemanik pingahot ukiunik ahin kulit ukiunik kang kaming big telekak. Unapta Robert Mickey kami papangata ilihaw di ka nga angunera ni Mick. Angunera kaming tigullo tigullo igilaw hurut agalan ilan ni tibrak takoting narvanon angunera hurut angunera bingit papamiting ilisurit angunera telekot. Ukak nukatpek ataw hamik ikakanamik awlak himagamik talimanik kiwalam nakhok ahin anduan naranik kumik awlak pakahiluk ahin awlak pa ako mag-ublami malawang milyon ni pingaw milyon ni ikakanamik ublami ay gihilok.
What do you want the rats to do? Done.
Una tana upinakapagwap ni Chuck. Ahin ahakapta. Uwagot. Tana lo. John Boy lo. Dean lo. Robert lo. Tava ni Chuck dot. Inipting ni. Uvlami tana tupakami. Kukihu tihugay tapkwak nukatpek. Ahin unukrakamang. Sabanik lamang awlak ulit ilan ni. Tana akihurok unak kiwaluk
You trap usually?
Yeah, I've trapped for a while.
The trap ones are more, cost more money, eh?
Yeah.
You get more money for them.
Yeah, because they're not tuned up and all that.
They're pretty tuned up now.
Mm-hmm. We usually quit drowning the first, but then us we're hunting for ourselves this year. Where's it? Ooh, got no more stretchers.
Maybe we'll be in Hollywood next year. If we keep doing this every day.
Hungisya kami ilan ni. Dean lo Robert lo. Ang unera na kami kiwalong ni ibakihurok. Ulumi kiwaluit panerogait. Inipting nakakapta kibalong nigilo, taon nagilauran, ranigilo, inirhurugot, shakibluid. Kibaluit, nakingit, mani umame, inuit narehugait, nakiging mataki. Tin lo rapat le kigabaluit panening mata. Iba ko takihurut. Mani inyo nakapta ilo kata habagurut. Nuntak kata ilan habagurut. John Boy John Boy nubrigait. Inyo niya kami ililabaluit. Ahit to nagihigait uti kaming kahalakawin mo. Humilaka makami igilaw ni inuit iningan ni tikitsun ni isyakibe kaktut isyakibing mon isyaktu ni niminga ruanik taurung naktut sauna gilaw ni gilo pipsi ni gilo kiwalong ni gilo. Niptingnin, ilihimalo nga erenyaratin, ilan nangalo Robert, actingalo Donna, ahin erenyangalo John Boy, nagkuhihirot. Ikpakalakpang akalakot pata, tawdut pakahit ka.
Expo 86 opens in Vancouver on May 2nd and runs for nearly 6 months. For the first time, the Northwest Territories will have its own pavilion at a World's Fair. Late last year, reporters and travel agents from the territories toured the Expo 86 site and had the opportunity of seeing the NWT Pavilion being built. It cost about $7 million. The pavilion resembles an iceberg and looks out on the beautiful coastal mountains and Vancouver skyline. It's 5 stories high and has 19,000 square feet of floor space. The exhibits, films, and live demonstrations will tell the story of how people have lived in the Arctic for thousands of years. Millions of people from all over the world will visit the pavilion, and the first thing they'll see is a 20-foot Inukshuk built out of massive blocks of rock.
On your way out of the pavilion, you'll get a chance to again come into contact with Northerners doing different activities. When you come by boat to the site, or when you go across on the cable cars and you look down into this area, there'll be the people sitting out here eating, you'll see the barbecue going, you'll smell the barbecue, and you'll see all the demonstrations and all the different activities going on.
A 250-seat indoor-outdoor restaurant will offer visitors a variety of Northern Country foods and delicacies. Char, muskox, burgers, and caribou roast, to mention but a few. Ulu Foods of Inuvik will supply much of that food. Alan Vaughn, Deputy Commissioner of the NWT Pavilion, is sure the Arctic menu will be a big hit.
In the Pavilion restaurant, it'll be muskox and char and caribou trout and whitefish, and it will be cooked outside on an outdoor grill, and you'll be able to smell it all through the, just like having an outdoor barbecue in your backyard, and you'll be able to smell it and actually see what the meat products look like and the fish products. It's the first time that muskox and caribou have ever been brought to the south and made available through a restaurant-type forum, and we hope that it'll stimulate the development of a new industry.
This will be something new in the way of food. How do you think it'll go over with people from other parts of the world and other parts of Canada?
We think that people will be very interested to come and give it a try, and after they've had a chance to try it, we know that they'll want to be purchasing it in a lot more places in the NWT Pavilion.
$850,000 in handicrafts from all over the north, including the Western Arctic, will be on sale. Items range from comic books to carvings. Sharon Firth of Inuvik shows us just a few of the more than 700 items that will be on sale. Of course, for many visitors, it'll be their first look at a real parka. These are sealskin. $150 Northerners will be hired to work at the pavilion, and they'll be housed in this apartment about a 15-minute drive from the expo site. Sharon Firth, the staff coordinator, says she's getting applications from all over the territories. She's also interested in people who want to volunteer their time without pay. Pavilion employees will wear unique uniforms designed in Yellowknife. They feature native leathers and beadwork. An Arctic film entitled A Freedom to Move will be shown at the Expo Center 10 times a day. 18 million people from around the world are expected to see it. The film shows the old ways of the ancient Inuit. Very few of the millions of people at Expo will ever be able to see the North for themselves. But by visiting the Northwest Territories Pavilion, they'll be doing the next best thing.